Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so Aries here, your online bestie. Yeah. Alright, so today we're gonna talk about neuroplasticity, and I feel like this topic is a bit trending now, and it's something that very interesting for me because after I did make some research about it, like what the fuck is it about? So I was just like, alright, so why not I talk about this thing with you guys. And if you guys like have any more knowledge about this neuroplasticity things, feel free to like jot it down in your comment section below because I'm curious about it. But first off, I'm gonna share what I understand and what I have did some research, because this all is my findings and all. So yeah, so it is about like you waking up. You just imagine like you wake up tomorrow morning, right, and discovering that everything you believe about yourself is actually wrong. Yeah, it's just that, oh, you know what, I'm just not an anxious person, I will never be confident and my childhood ruined me. I am always being lazy, I'm too old to change right now. So what if I told you that, oh, your brain doesn't agree with any of those statements and all? For real. So because your brain has like one incredible superpower, because it actually rewires itself like every single day without you even knowing. Like scientists call this as a neuroplasticity. Wait a moment. But I like to call it the proof that your past doesn't have to become your future, okay? But my definition is a bit long, so yeah, you don't have to like remember that. So today we are going to talk about like how your brain actually changes, why you have become the person that you are today. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, and most importantly today is like how you can become someone completely different. Okay, because you are not trapped, you are programmed, and what has been programmed, can be reprogrammed. Okay, so you see, because your brain is like a forest, imagine like standing inside a huge forest, a huge forest. The first time that you walk through it, you have to like push branches aside, right? So you stumble and the path is difficult. So but if you walk the same road, every day, the grass disappears, the dirt becomes visible, eventually it becomes a pathway or a road. So your brain works exactly the same way. Every thought that you repeat to yourself, every emotions that you constantly feel, every habit that you practice, every podcast, every and things that you consume, media that you consume actually creates a stronger neural pathway. Okay, because your brain like isn't asking you that, oh, is this good for you? It's actually asking like, oh, should I make this pathway stronger? So this means that whether you are basically like practicing gratitude or practicing self-hatred, right, your brain gets better at whatever that you repeat. Like that's why your thoughts become more automatic, like not because they are true, right? So trauma basically shapes the brain sometimes. So let's talk about something that many people that don't realize it, because sometimes trauma really changes the brain. If you grew up like constantly being criticized, even by your family members, like your brain learns to expect criticism. And if you grew up in a family where they have like a limitation mindset, then your brain will learn that, oh, you will adapt to the limitation mindset. And if you grew up like thinking that you don't deserve more, then your brain will learn to like expect less from other people. Okay, so you see, if you were abandoned, your brain will become like hyper vigilant. If you experience abuse, your nervous system learns that the world isn't safe for you because it constantly search for danger around you, right? Okay, so this isn't a weakness. It's an adaptations because your brain like basically was trying to protect you. So the problem is like what once protected you can begin to imprison you. You may overthink, avoid people please, not avoid people please. You are going to more leaning to people pleaser, and then you fear success, push away healthy relationships because not because you are broken, right? But because your brain learned survival before it learned peace. Yeah. So, and here's the beautiful part, if you see, if trauma can reshape the brain, right, healing can reshape it too. Okay, just trust me, it can. Okay, so every thought that we made is actually a word. Here's something that changed my life personally because I survived SA and DV. All right, if you don't know what is SA and DV, SA means sexual assault and DV is domestic violence. So here's something that I learned, because your brain is always listening, okay, not just to other people, okay, but to you. Okay, every time that you say, oh, I'm a failure, I am ugly, I will never succeed, I'm always unlucky, I deserve all the disrespect, okay, those things, you are actually strengthening those neural pathways. It is like a casting a vote, which is a vote that doesn't decide an elections, but thousands do. Likewise, one positive affirmations won't magically transform your life, but repeated thoughts, with positive one, repeated actions, repeated emotions change your brain over time. Okay, so this is why like consistency beats motivations for real. You don't become confident because you feel confident. Okay, you become confident because you repeatedly act despite your fear. Your brain like notice, and eventually says that, oh, this must be who we are. Okay, so you act like that. Okay, so you see, like sometimes change feels hard, right? It's very hard, like it feels uncomfortable, and it's because your brain loves familiarity and predictability. So not happiness. Okay, even if your current life makes you miserable right now, your brain prefers the known over the unknown. Okay, that's why toxic relationships feels familiar, negative thinking feels natural, procrastinations feels like comfortable, because your brain says that, oh, we have survived this before. Okay, so let's stay here. Okay, we're not gonna go anywhere. Okay, that's how our brain works. Okay, but you see, growth always feels unfamiliar and unpredictable. So the first workout feels painful, the first boundary feels guilty, the first business feels like, oh, terrifying, the first time that you're speaking in a public feels like impossible for you, because discomfort isn't proof that you are failing, right? It's a proof that you are actually building. You're building a new neural pathway in your brain, and you are creating a road where only grass existed before. Okay, so you see, there's a 5 ways to wait. Let me just pause this. Okay, testing. Okay, hi, I'm back. All right, so right now we have like 5 ways to like basically rewire your brain. So this is from my findings. All right, So I'm sharing with you guys. Yeah. Okay, so you see, how do we actually use neuroplasticity? Okay. Yeah, how? First thing first, become aware. Awareness is the most important thing, because you cannot change a program that you don't know is running, right? Pay attention to your inner monologue, your inner dialogue, And second, repeat what you want to want. What the fuck I'm saying? Second is repeat what you want to become. Okay. Alright. So if you want to create that someone, your future self, then do what that person gonna do. Repeat what you want to become. Repeat your goal every single day, every hour, if you want, okay? Not once, but hundreds of times. And your brain learns through repetitions, And third is you need to feel the emotions. Emotions act like a glue for, like a memory, because the stronger the feeling is, the stronger the neural connection. And fourth is the most important thing. Take action. Your brain believes actions more than words, okay? Don't just say that, oh, you know what, I am confident. I want you to do one confident things today, instead of just saying, all right, or planning. Don't overthink it, okay? Just do it. So fifth, be patient. You have spent years building an old pathway sometimes, and don't expect that new one gonna just arise overnight, because transformation is not an event, it's not a public event just happen, boop, just like that overnight. It is actually a constructions phase for you. There's an up and down, and there's a demolish phase, and all just to build a new building. It's just a metaphor, okay? So every healthy choice is another brick. Every boundary is another brick. Every act of self-respect is another brick. Eventually you look back and you realize that, oh, you know what, you have built an entirely different life. That's impressive. Applause. Congrats. Because it's just a competition between you and your old self, not you with other people. No, don't compare your timeline with other people. Nope. So next is, you see, because the thing is, I feel like you are not your brain's first draft, right? I want you to leave you. Wait, what the fuck I'm saying? I keep twisting my word. Sorry. So yeah, I want to leave you with this thought sometimes, basically the version, the version of you sitting here today, the one that listening to me right now, is not the final version of you. Do you get what I mean? I hope you does. Because it is simply the versions that your brain has practiced the most, because that means the anxious versions isn't a permanent one, the insecure version isn't a permanent one, the people pleasing version isn't a permanent one, the fearful version isn't a permanent, because your identity isn't carved into stone, it is written in a pencil. Okay, and every single day you have the opportunity to basically write something new, okay? Because not by becoming someone else, right? Becoming who you always have the potential to be, okay? Because neuroplasticity isn't just a science, it's hope. It means that your past does not own your future. Okay, because your mistakes do not define your identity. And your current identity does not determine your destiny, because every new thought, every courageous actions, every moment that you choose healing instead of fear, you know, is, you know, like literally reshaping your brain. Because so next time that your mind like tells you, oh, you will never change, smile, because science says otherwise. Yeah. So yeah, if this video helped you see yourself differently, let me ask you like one questions, you know, like what is the one thing, believe about yourself that you are ready to rewire? Okay, leave it in the comments because I am curious about it. You know, I'll read your comments, okay? But if it's sometimes there's a lot of comments in just the comment sections, like there are more than like 30 comments, so it is hard for me like to read each one of you because I usually post daily, so there are a lot of comments flood inside my the comment section, so there's a lot. Yeah, but I take some time to reply. Yeah, sometimes it took me like 2 weeks later just to reply a comment, so, or maybe 1 or 2 months like later, because it took some time for me like to like go through your message or your comment. Yeah, that's it, just a heads up, that's all. So yep, bye bye, that's it for today, bye.